Okay, so Corey, I've teleported myself over near spawn, near the original spawn of the game, the old cathedral. And I thought if we were going to talk about the origins of the uplift, that might be a good place to start.
Whoa, wait a minute. Somebody
What?
bought a 10 random lawn plot for $10,000.
What?
Okay.
It's a good way to
50,000
start.
wax. Holy sheep shorts. Sorry. Hi. Hello.
So
Great,
I'm,
we just started recording.
whoa.
Good. That'll be immortalized forever.
Okay,
Hey,
Corey.
Greg.
Corey, I'm going to teleport you over to me.
Oh, I should get in the game. All right. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
So
Duh.
hi, everybody. My name is Greg Smithwick. I am known in the Uplift world as Uplift Greg. And we are going to take a tour today through down memory lane. We're going to talk about the origins of the Uplift world. And then we're going to talk about how players can engage people on their land, which is an interesting topic because this is going to be a pretty unique idea that just for traveling across the surface of the Uplift world and doing other things, you will accrue a tiny little benefit in cryptocurrency, which wax is what's powering it. And the person who owns the land will also accrue a little bit of benefit. And we're going to explain all that. So let me teleport Corey.
Do you want to share, Greg?
Yes, I do. As soon as I get Mr. Corey squared away here.
All right.
Sorry, guys. Getting on it here.
Hey, are we
Guess I-
doing
Oh,
gratitudes? I guess not. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yes, Corey. And we're also live right now. So give me a sec to get everything settled around here.
Yeah, no worries. I just realized where we are. I'll
Yeah.
shut up. You
I mean,
got things under
I
control.
have a plan. It's
All right.
it's a thing.
He's not
Okay.
driving his show, so he's lost.
All right, can we all see the screen now? Yes, in Zoom.
Yep.
Okay, so this is where the Uplift world actually started within probably 50 blocks of here. This was just a spot on the beach when we started, and we had absolutely zero experience running a Minecraft server. We started a free server because we weren't sure it was going to draw any attention or it was going to work. And one of the first people we invited here was a guy named Bob Benson. And Bob came down here to the beach when Corey and I were looking. He put a little sign in the ground, and it said, "I'm grateful for this place to play." And we actually have a screenshot of that sign. We were smart enough, or just lucky enough, that we got a screenshot of it. But essentially, this beach is pretty much where this whole world started. And we had a sarcastic, mean idea to start the world, but the minute we saw the gratitude sign, it was Corey really was like, well, now we have to build like a little shrine, and people can express their gratitude there. And we had both been kind of steeped in gratitude practice before this. We've worked together for 5 or 6 years on different media, local media and broader media projects, podcasts and such. So Corey started building. I said, okay, I got to go eat lunch. And I came back and he had started this, which was the first cathedral that we built in Minecraft. I say Corey did most of the work. We were so new at any of this that rather than find bamboo and make scaffolding, we were using piles of dirt to climb that high. And we did all this in survival mode. So when people are wondering about survival mode and what's possible, this is not a bad start for two guys that were. I had been playing Minecraft a while. Corey was maybe less familiar with all the possibilities in it, but this is what Corey built. And on the second day, because I didn't know about whitelisting yet, a random guy came in here and bombed our cathedral flat to the ground, and we had to build it all over again.
Terrible. Oh man.
Lots of opportunities to express gratitude early in the world. But what you can see when you look around is these are the original gratitude signs that people have been putting up in the server since pretty much the day it was founded. There are dozens of them, and we ran out of room. And that's when Corey had the idea to go far afield and build a second, much bigger cathedral. So it was always, from the minute this world was founded, from the day that this world was founded, gratitude, expressing our gratitude and having a place to do so in a playful, peaceful world was central to what we were doing. What was I grateful for that day? Grateful for a place to create, for tech during self-isolation. So the entire history of COVID is written in these gratitudes in this cathedral. So there it is. And on the back wall, we really early decided that Sunday mornings we were going to do a gratitude service in here. And since it's a cathedral and we were having services, we decided to call it church, and we decided to call it the Church of Reason. And that we focus on things that are provably true, that we can change by applying logic and reason and science to a degree. So I immediately thought, well, what if we had the pale blue dot by Carl Sagan somehow represented in our cathedral? And that's my digitized, my pixelated rendition of the image that Voyager shot of the Earth back in the late 70s, early 80s. I think it was the early 80s by the time it got out there. Anyway, so there it is. That's my my rendition of Sagan's pale blue dot expressed in glass. So this is where it all started. This is the beginning of this. If you want to know the origin of the world, and by the way, we're all focused on the community cluster and Chicken Ka and Center City and the big cathedral. This is all still here in the world. You can go, a few thousand blocks east of where we do all the stuff we're doing every day in this world, and this is still here. This week, we had to have a sorting out of properties and permissions because of the big public influx that's going to come with the land sale. And Donna, my roommate, who everybody calls Laugh Track, she's the one that yells Chicken Ka in the background when we're having our live streams. Donna was named custodian of the historic district of the Uplift World, and so she will be pretty much the only person that has permission to come over here and change things and move things around in this whole little section of the Uplift World. This is a big house somebody started, never finished. We had people join us that they've fallen by the wayside, we haven't seen again. This is actually a giant treehouse that has a residence inside it. So early on, we had some very talented people showing up and turning their creative energy into real things in the Minecraft world, well, as real as Minecraft can get anyway. Another little lighthouse there. So off the back of the cathedral and through this village, which we don't talk about how this village got populated, there's this walking path. And one of the things you may notice is that the granite pieces, the lighter granite stripes here, you'll see how long it takes somebody to figure out what's going on, why they're spaced the way they are. But this is what we call the path of reason. And we memorialized along the way milestones in science and in human thought. And the first one is a massive iteration of a hydrogen atom. This is the beginning of Corey's lust for sea lanterns right here. Is making this so it glows in the night. You can see it from a long way off. And we put little markers in to express human thoughts about this. All of us are what happens when weather sounds. I don't know where Corey went. All of us are what happens when a primordial mix of hydrogen and helium evolved for so long that it begins to ask where it came from. And that's from Jill Charter, who's a famous physicist. So we did this all the way along the path. The next one, and I'll fly to it, it's a little quicker that way. There's a detour out here that's worth taking if you walk over here. Russ Naden, who's one of the elders in Chicken Ka, he built a replica of the Voyager probe out here in the woods to sort of also memorialize Carl Sagan. And the story of the probe is written down here on a book. And also, you can see the gold record that's on the side of Voyager that exists in physical space out near the cathedral. So if you're near the cathedral, you can actually see a massive rendition of that gold record. This is, of course, a DNA double helix. It's not a real one. In other words, we didn't model an actual DNA strand to do this. We just picked the 4 colors and kind of went with it. So we're not sure what we created here. The nitrogen in our DNA, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are all made of star stuff, Carl Sagan. So everywhere along the path, where we put these markers, we put a little story about what you were going to see. This next one was pretty much mine. I made a giant amoeba under a microscopic slide on the surface of a pond, and you can walk on it or you can walk on the platform above it. And at one point, we were all living, the 7 or 8 of us that played in the server. We all had houses over here, and this is my roommate Donna's little farmhouse on the beach. She has a beautiful little beachside farm out here, and all of this was done in survival mode. So that's the origins of the Uplift World. And I don't know what to do next. Corey, are you still with us? You left me alone. Do you guys have questions or anything you want to know about what we're seeing?
How did the size change of the world? Was it smaller at first? Got it bigger, or is it?
No, we
was it
just had
undiscovered?
undiscovered. It was all covered in black. And it's funny because we used to think of this as like, we thought we didn't have any idea how big the world was. We thought this was a long way from the cathedral, and it really isn't. And out where Corey built the new cathedral, I remember complaining, "Oh God, we're gonna have to walk forever to get out there." And it's actually, it's in Minecraft world size terms, it's really close. The thing is that in single player worlds, the world can be much larger than it can be on a public server, because not nearly as many people are inhabiting it and working on the ground at the same time. So that's why we've had to reduce the footprint of the worlds that will appear within the Uplift now. That's the why the community cluster needs to be on one server. The Chicken Ka and Central City need to be on other servers, and people will be able to teleport between them. So that's why we developed that mechanic. We had to overcome a pretty big technical hurdle. So most of you who are watching this or have seen the Uplift World know that this is the cathedral. So when we talk about the cathedral now, this is what we mean. But as you can see, a lot more people have been showing up and expressing gratitude week over week, month over month. And it's sometimes hard for me to get that it's less than 15 months since the day I turned the switch and we started our first Minecraft server, and it's grown into this. And I want to remind folks, I will never stop reminding folks that Corey laid every brick, every glass brick in this dome by hand. He went around circle after circle after circle building this over a period of a couple of weeks. Corey did all of this, the work on the dome, and quite a bit of the work on the cathedral. A lot of us worked to lay out the big giant floor down here and level the land under it. But this is Corey's masterpiece. Questions? This is a mural by Jennifer Barrett. She's actually now been commissioned to do several of these murals around the game. And that means earning actual money for creative work in a Minecraft world. It's one of the things that we didn't see coming, but is really exciting to us. One of the, several of the Uplift art projects have had paydays for the people that participated in them and helped gather the materials to build them. The Tiamo event from Uplift Art, he asked that it be done in survival mode, like a labor of love. It was how Blue described his desire for that piece for us. And so the 4 or 5 people that helped produce all the materials for that, they got a pretty substantial wax payday for their labor. And I'm going down here. We call this the origin cave. The lore, the narrative of our world being, we started in these caverns and caves and we explored out into the world. And I just made a big giant square box underground with some trees in it. Ho hum. It was very, very beautiful. And then I asked Jen, after I saw that mural outside, to come in and do one for us down here. And this is what she did. And, in the spirit of exploration of worlds, this is someone guiding others to understand the stars and the world around them. And it's just kind of breathtaking. She's also going to be doing a big one of these for Blue at the Blue Room pyramid, the pyramid structures that Corey built. And I think she's got a commission now to do one for Boyd over in their plot on the cluster as well. So here we have an artist who's actually going to be making money by developing artworks for members of the community cluster and other places in the Uplift world. And that I did not see coming. I think Corey may have had an inkling that was possible, but it's pretty special that we're going to be able to do that.
While still alive.
Say that again. Sorry, Dave.
While the artist is still alive, that's rare.
Right? Right. Pay the artist while they're still around to enjoy it. That seems to be a thing that we should be doing. The model for the Blue Room, the pyramid structures that Corey built, is actually, he came out here all on his own, and it was sort of an isolation and solitude practice for him. He came out and built this dodecahedron, is that the right term for that, and a little house attached to it that we used to call his Fortress of Solitude, because it was so far out here in the middle of nowhere. And that's what inspired him to start building the big domed cathedral. I filled his house with polar bears one time. I don't know if there's any polar bears left in here, but at one point his house was full of bears, which I thought was hilarious. He did not think it was hilarious because I think that one of the bears might have tried to eat him. So Jennifer, the artist, and her husband Russ, this is their little world. They've made an amazingly colorful little set of amazing little gardens and buildings to walk around in. This village is fully enabled with trading. So the villagers that you see walking around are non-player characters, and you can trade with them. You can offer them, they all want emeralds for whatever it is that they're selling. Or you see, or you can give them emeralds for an enchanted sword, or you can give them raw materials and they'll give you emeralds. So trading in the game with the non-player character villagers is a real thing, and it's pretty substantial. So having a village that's safe and the villagers can do whatever it is they do is a pretty important part of the game mechanic in Minecraft. And she's done a beautiful job of making it pretty. That's a working QR code right there. If you held your phone up to the screen right now and clicked it, you would get whatever Russell intended the link to do. And that's the gold record that you saw represented from Voyager and that other build. He built it out into the real world, captured it on a map in the game, and he did this by hand. He didn't do this from a schematic or a paste-in drawing. He did this before we knew that you could even do that. So he came out here with all these materials and he built this massive sculpture of the gold record from the Voyager probe, and that's how it exists in the world.
About the villages and the trading, is the emerald, is that like what's the significance of the emeralds?
Emeralds are very rare in the game. They're actually rarer than diamonds. If you're mining underground, the emeralds appear in mountainous terrain and only under certain distances below ground level. So finding raw emeralds in the ground is pretty rare. But what you'll notice is not only do they want emeralds, but they'll give you emeralds for things that you bring them. So if you find a farmer that wants wheat or pumpkins, every day you harvest things from your farm that you've built, bring them to the village, and he'll give you an emerald. And you get enough emeralds, you can trade back for something they have. The more you trade with them, the better the trades get, the more complex the trades get. So emeralds are the NPC currency of choice for trading with the non-player characters.
So it is like a liquidity pool?
Yes, very much. It very rare.
Okay, so you wouldn't mine for emeralds, but you would like farm things and then exchange emeralds to like have the utility to be able to exchange other things.
Right.
And there's
yeah.
some logic that it
Sorry.
will not like the two pool be. I mean, I'm thinking of it like a DeFi pool has some mechanics in it, so it will not be gamed, right?
It's very stormy out today. All right, so well, this particular villager is a potter, and so he wants clay. He wants you to go find clay balls, and he will give you an emerald for each 10 clay balls that you bring him. Okay, if you bring him an emerald, he'll sell you a brick, right? See, so there's a back and forth exchange. So
Right.
it's easy to grow crops to get emeralds from the farmer, and then you would trade those emeralds for things that are more valuable in the game. And as I say, the more you trade with them, the more substantial the trades get. This is one who, if you bring him 14 raw chickens, sorry, Lisa, he will give you an emerald. If you give him an emerald, he will give you a bowl of rabbit stew, right? So you're trading back and forth with them. So you find your first emeralds and you right away want to trade them with a villager, begin to build up your store of emeralds to buy better and better things. The librarians in the villages will trade you enchanted books that can make your weapons and tools and armor stronger or better and make them do different things.
So the villages, is their relationship, what they offer in trades, is it a personal relationship with every player and personal, or is it a general offer that they do that grows with every interaction that anyone has with them?
It's good. It's a good question. If anybody trades with them, the deals get better. If anybody hits them or kills a villager, all the trades in the village get worse.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're kind of motivated to protect the villagers. And the whole thing about captive villagers and slave villagers, if you don't build a fence around this village, they will wander off and fall into lava. They will drown. They will get killed by bad creatures in the world. So it's a kind of a mixed thing with taking care of the villagers. These big lumbering things that are walking around are called iron golems, and they are there to protect the villagers. If you were to hit one of the villagers in front of this guy or hit this guy, he would hit you until you were dead. So there is a protective mechanism built into the game. But that's usually that engages usually in a world where there are hostile mobs like zombies and other bad things in the world that will kill villagers. So these are spawned to protect the villagers from harm. That makes that makes some sense.
Right.
But
But
when
did
we
you
talk
bring
about,
the
I'm
golems
sorry,
there, or
say again.
I heard on some of the tour videos that you brought the villagers there, right?
Well, yeah, we didn't know this about the villager mechanics. We didn't know that if a village for whatever reason was depopulated, that they would not come back ever to that village. So we waited for villagers to come back, thinking, well, they'll just spawn back in because that's how the game works. When they didn't, I started reading online and found out the only way to get to repopulate a village was to bring 2 villagers from somewhere else and put them in the village and put beds in the village and feed them, and they would make baby villagers and you would repopulate. So I literally got in a boat, went across the ocean to a foreign land, put 2 villagers in boats and brought them all. So yeah, we repopulated our village by inventing virtual slavery. We didn't invent it. We just found out that it was a thing that you could do. So that when I joke about, we don't talk about how we got villagers in the origin village, it wasn't a pre-story, but all the villagers there had been killed because we didn't know that we needed to build fences around the village to protect them. So if you the random land sale that happened today, if you were lucky enough to get a plot that has a village on it, you'll want to do what you can to keep the village because it has intrinsic trade value in the game, and it just looks cool when you fly around and you see populated areas. In Chicken Ka, we are lucky enough that one of our pioneer builders, Ginny, she's built a Mayan style village, but the kind of houses the Mayan people did and do live in, and it's close enough to Chicken Ka that what we're going to do is we're going to build houses in the part of the city where you or I could buy property and build a house, and we're going to populate the Maya quarter of Chicken Ka with non-player characters. So as you play the game through your day, there are going to be villagers wandering around you. And I'm not sure anybody else has thought of that. When we talk about ways to engage people and reasons why they might want to come to your plot and walk around and look at it, the idea that we have it has life around you, not just sterile builds that are cool, which I love, but actually have some life in the region, some animal life, and some villagers walking around doing things.
Yeah, I want some villagers.
Villagers are cool. So, Michael, you don't have a village anywhere on your plot?
I've
That's a
looked
shame.
all around.
That's a shame.
Yeah, sure I do. It's been there. I just haven't noticed it. Don't go look for it yet, though. It'll be
Okay.
there next week.
Yeah, we're over Jen's village, and David was asking some good questions about the villagers and the emerald economy.
One more question I got.
Sure.
So basically, this is now without any wax plugins, right? This is like native survival mode Minecraft DeFi, basically taking the farming aspect and the villager trading, right? Because
Yes.
you get yield farming from a farm, and you get the yields from the villagers if you create the right environment so they
Yes.
don't get killed or whatever. So that's interesting.
That's correct. And Mojang built that right into Minecraft. It wasn't always that way. Even 3 years ago, the villagers really didn't have any purpose. They just wandered around, and they built functionality into them because players asked for it. And that's one of my favorite things about Minecraft is it's not just the Mojang team, it's the input from literally hundreds of thousands of people that makes them make new things in the game. And by the way, it's not just farming. Like that one villager was looking for clay. Clay occurs naturally in the environment. So if you find a clay deposit, you would dig it up. And now if you remember that villager wanted clay balls, you can go there and you can trade clay for emeralds, and then emeralds back for other things that you want. So, but yeah, it's a native built-in economy based on emeralds.
Wow.
Yeah. Hi, Corey.
Hey, sorry guys. I am Blue called and he'd been radio silent for hours, and that usually means that large things happened, and so I wanted to find out what happened.
And you're gonna break the news right here on the
I want to.
I bet you
Um,
do.
I want to a lot. Well, let me just say this: nothing is inked, and one of the top 10 largest grossing recording artists on the planet is involved. How about that?
Cool. I know what that's about.
Yep.
I would say so. I can be bought, by the way, for those of you watching from home.
And suddenly the Waz is taken off the talk
It's
list.
a lot more expensive today than it was last week. Let's just
Yeah,
say
right.
All right.
So you take emeralds?
You take emeralds.
No, clay balls only. That's my price. All right. So Corey, I walked them down the path of reason, showed them the hydrogen atom, the place of the demise of the llama and the amoeba, and then flew us over here and explained that this is the what we all call the cathedral is actually the second cathedral to sort of set the early origins of the game. And I guess what we want to talk about now is how to engage players in the game. And that's been a really interesting conversation because it just seemed natural to me. I've been playing Minecraft for a while, and so there's no mystery to me. And what's engaging about the game is building amazing things and earning it, basically digging in the ground for diamonds and other mineral resources and resources to make electric circuits, to make machines, and trying not to die by swimming in lava while you're doing it. So that's, the game has a set of engagement principles of its own when you're playing in survival mode. When you're in creative mode, the engagement is I can build some amazing things in a 3-dimensional realm. And when I have to explain Minecraft to people that have never played it, I tell them it's like you have every Lego ever made for $26 because you can build astonishingly artistic and creative builds. Corey,
I say it's like crossing Legos and MS Paint.
Yeah, it is. Except you can also make machines and circuits that work. There are
Sure,
people that build working computers out of the components that are found in a Minecraft world, which is crazy.
Agreed.
Yeah. What do you want to show them next, Corey? What do you think?
As far as engagement, I mean, we can't show them what, it's really funny too. I just got on the phone with M Blue and we were talking about like massive, insane stuff. He's like, tell me what's going on in crypto, chicken con, like for real. And like, I can't, they won't tell me.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Well, I want to explain why, right? If the economy that we're going to contend with deals with having people come to your land and walk around on it, they're going to get rewarded for that. The more they walk around on it, the more you make. We want to wait for the economy to be turned on before we show any of it, because we want people to come to Chicken Ka and walk around for a few hours and come back tomorrow. I live near Disney World, so there's a reason you can't see it all in one day. They want you to stay the night, come back, and re-engage with the parks the next day. And I don't want to tell you we're building Disney World over there. We're not. But we're building a set of experiences, including games and adventures and hidden things that there'll be a reward for seeking out. So I've agreed not to show too much of it. So Corey, if there's some specific thing you wanted to show off over there, we could certainly do that. But
and I'll have to drop off pretty soon here. I didn't know if y'all wanted me to chat about anything.
Well, Michael, you've built maybe the best user engagement strategy in the game so far.
Until Corey keeps nuking me.
You deserved it.
I enjoyed it.
Michael,
I enjoyed it.
What's the coordinates over there?
I don't know. At EOS USA.
Oh, are you okay?
I'm close enough. I'll head that way. I don't know. I'm negative 14,000.
I got you.
275 or something.
All right. So in any conversation we're ever going to have from here forward about how to engage users to come to your land and spend some time there.
Yeah.
EOS USA Michael is the world champion because what he did, and I again, this is one of those things I'll never stop telling people. I taught EOS USA Michael on, I guess, a Tuesday morning how to break a block with a pickaxe. And within a week, he had built this massive functional roundy round leaps and jumps under the water, giant roller coaster. And so if you get benefit in this world, in the Uplift world, for moving around on the surface, then you're going to get some experience just for riding the roller coaster. You, the user, the player, are going to get some XP, you know, some economic benefits, some wax for riding this roller coaster. And Michael is going to get benefit because you're spending more time moving around on his plot of land. So the idea is to build things that engage with the player so that they benefit, and also the landowner benefits. That's why we're building cool stuff in here, because we want people to come walk around and experience it. And so this is maybe the mother of all engagement strategies for a Minecraft world that's going to pay people to be here. There you go. There's Mike riding the roller coaster. I'm going to follow you around with the camera. There you go. That's Uncle Sam riding around the roller coaster.
I only got a skin. Y'all made fun of my blandness, and I was
I'm
like,
glad you upped your game on that. That's pretty good.
what says EOS USA more than Uncle Sam in his suit?
There we go. Whoa, where'd he go? I missed it.
The funny one is whenever I come, and it's about halfway through, is whenever I come flying into the hole. So right there, right at
Right.
the end.
Yep.
You just disappear into the ground.
Let's see if we get a good shot of that. You're gonna come around here eventually. It's got
Anyway,
ramps and
yeah.
jumps in it.
It took me about 3 days to build it, and I would do it while I was on like conference calls like this, as I would multitask.
There he goes.
There we go.
Zoop.
Oh, down in the hole.
That is so cool. And down through coral reefs.
Yeah.
And it's a continuous circuit ride, which is why Corey keeps having to to eliminate him from the game.
I
But
think
you can
I've
see
ridden rails like 100, 200 times more than I've walked.
Yeah, we saw your stats earlier. It was pretty funny. He's ridden hundreds of kilometers on the roller coaster. So the other thing is he's building big giant things that you can come and look at and walk through and marvel at the size of. And we're seeing a lot of that, a lot of creative builds. This is an Alien World's gray. What?
It's Robotron's the name of the character, but
Oh,
that's
okay.
kind of the icon and logo for Alien World. So I figured that was as good of a entry point attention getter.
Why did I think this was a peacemaker, a gray peacemaker? I don't know.
That's Lisa's thing is gray peacemaker. So
Oh, okay.
she might commission me to make a gray peacemaker, but he's not going to look nearly as cool as Robotron.
Oh, I see you got a nice pier that goes out to the Statue of Liberty.
Well,
now,
no, it
too.
goes all the way down. That's what I was showing whenever you showed up. So it goes
Right.
spiral all the way down, and then there's stairs
Oh,
that come
I
all the
get
way
it.
back up it.
Right.
If you want, you can cheat and go into the top, but you
So
can
this
actually.
is that's pretty amazing.
So the same thing like you guys had is that my idea was that you come in and you can come all the way down, you can explore all the way back up to the top. And when you get to the top, hey, I earned this worthless EOS USA NFT. But collect the set, I mean, we'll do this kind of all around. But
Right.
if you go, there's a up in that flame, there's actually a room in there with some chests and a sign and whatnot.
Oh, nice.
So I mean that, like I say, you go all the way up to the very, very top, and then it's a spiral staircase that goes all the way down the middle. Anyway,
Right.
but
So players mostly are not going to be able to fly around it like this. They're going to have to walk through it. They're going to have to use the railroad to get to it. And so that's where the economy of the world, rewarding players for travel across the surface comes in. And when we talk about the size of the world, a 5,000 by 5,000 Minecraft area is pretty big. That's a lot of ground to mine, to explore, to farm, to do whatever kind of interaction you want to do with it from ground levels. Swim across.
oh, was that me going by? Oh no, that was the rain.
Yeah, I had to clear the weather there. Use my magic weather tool.
Could you give some perspective what it means, like when we see this here, what it means, like 50 by 50, what is 200 by 200?
I can
Sure.
tell you this, Robotron right there is 50 by 100 blocks.
Okay.
So a 50 by 50 plot would be half the size of the statue, and it stretches all the way from bedrock to the 255 height sky limit. So that's a pretty big area. If you were going to build yourself a house in Minecraft, you could build a really massive house on half the size of this construction. And I can actually
I thought I built one out of a mountain.
I think it's actually, it might be easier to show it on the 2D map. Let me jump over here and we'll do that.
I think somebody asked if Alien Worlds had joined. They have a community plot that we're trying to help them build out and work on some of their projects and stuff for them. So that's and because Corey keeps moving land and everything around, I built it on my plot, and then we'll move it to where it needs to go apparently.
So for perspective, this is the area of the first cathedral. This is what, this is, you saw how big it was in the world. That's how tiny it is on the map. There's the trail I walked you down, the hydrogen molecule, the DNA strand, the amoeba. And this is, I flew along this railway that goes to the cathedral, what we now call the cathedral. And then we flew a lot further across the map to get to where Michael is. So the map is going to look very, very different in the next few days than it does today, because we can't have things this big in a functional Minecraft server. So where Michael and I are now, this is the EOS USA community cluster plot. And that the red is, if I'm not mistaken, that's a 250 by 250, correct?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm told.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. So what you see in red is a 250 by 250 plot. This is the build that you can see. I'm standing up above the head of the of Robotron there. And these around the sides, these are rail plots. These are 50 by 50. So each of these little green blocks on the map gives you an idea of how big a rail plot is. They're bigger than you think.
It's huge.
There's plenty of room on them to build and to do things. And of course, the engagement strategies so far have been to build just astonishing things to come and look at. When you see pictures of these builds, it's just nothing like being there. I'm going to write down the coordinates real quick, and I'm going to pop over to that one. Minus.
And I got to drop off. Like I say, I got to go do.
Thank
water.
you, Michael. I appreciate you sticking with me there.
I always enjoy seeing my world through your shaders because it doesn't look like that to me. All right,
Michael,
thanks
I
everybody.
got one question, Michael.
Sure,
Michael,
sure.
are you planning to do something like Alien World Butler for the Uplift World?
Yes, as much as we can. We're working with them on the back end as well. I mean, part of the integration into Wax is some of those features, but yes, we're here to automate anything they don't do. We'll do it.
Right.
So Boyd's strategy to engage people is to just make them go, holy hell, look at what happened. Because this started immediately. You can see they've built a motherboard over here with the battery, the CPU. They were the first in the world to have a working QR code that takes you directly to the Boyd website, so you can find out what they do. So they saw this as an opportunity to showcase, to get people to get eyeballs to their Boyd website and to their project, which is amazing. And then they went hillbilly nuts, building spaceships and a spaceport and shuttlecrafts and giant buildings and a library that has books and a giant gratitude marker on the roof. Look, we have like a city central park here. So people will be able to, and I want to make sure that I give people a sense that they'll be able to get off a train, a rail car, and walk around in all this, walk around and look at all this. They won't be able to change it unless they have specific permission from Boyd to come in here and do things. But these will all get filled up with displays and artworks and furniture. It's entirely, and we think it's going to be possible to eventually sublease these floors, so people could buy or rent from Boyd a floor in one of these skyscrapers.
Hey, we're still seeing the 2D map.
Gosh darn it! You got to tell me sooner in the thing than.
Sorry, man. I didn't really realize where you were until you were talking about floors. I'm like, we are seeing floors. Hey, Bullshipples is here. What's up?
That guy.
Hey, Leora's here too. Awesome.
Nice. Anyway, it's entirely possible that in the near future, you will be able to rent space in these buildings and have a virtual office that represents your real world brick and mortar business in a district like this. If not this one, I'm sure they would love to make a deal with folks to rent space from them or maybe they have partners that they want to be able to display something about their business. So you can put things in here to represent it. And they are pretty well thought out. They really did a great job of utilizing the space. And again, the plot that this is built on is 250 by 250. So look at that beautiful portal they built there. I'm not even sure where that portal goes. afraid to get in there. There you go, Boyd logo. Giant satellite dish. There's a spaceship, and it's is it not the USS Corey Cottrell?
I think they threw. I think I might be an admiral now, which is
Yeah,
like
he's an admiral.
really
There's a marker-
flattering.
There's a marker in here that commemorates Corey's admiralty, which is
A stretch. That's what we're gonna call it. It's a
USS
stretch.
Corey. There it is, built on February
Oh, dude, that's
February
hilarious.
8th. February 8th. God, that's a month already. They've done everything you see in this plot in a month. And when you see it at
Wow.
night, it's maybe more
stellar.
impressive at night than it was during the day. And as I said, Jennifer has been commissioned.
Wow.
I'm not sure exactly which spot it's in, but they put aside a huge wall for Jennifer to make a mural in. I don't think it's in here, but Jennifer is going to be building one of her amazing, colorful murals
Oh, cool.
in one of the spaces over here in the Boyd part of the cluster.
I haven't even seen that. The second bay over there. I'd never. And that ball, like I haven't seen half the stuff, and I was here like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah,
fast.
Day1 Bay
It's
2. Isn't that
crazy.
great? Isn't that great? And there's also an Imperial AT-AT Walker from Star Wars
Yep,
right here.
that's
Made it.
cool.
See, this is what I love is like, if you look closely, you can see this is made of wooden fence gates and character skulls and metal doors and stone. And it's really, you can see exactly what it is when you back away and you look at the shape of it. So you using the analogs in this world to make things that are far more modern than the block set would you would think. Look at I love how they did the multicolored beams there. That's pretty neat. Beams of light into the night sky. That's the Boyd plot. So I'm going to look for somewhere else to take us here. But yeah, engagement strategy means what makes people come to your plot and look around or interact with it or fight you, whatever it is they want to do. What else should we show them, Corey? How about you know what? I have not been to Dr. Unani's place over here.
Oh, Discordia. You know what? Ed, he was just mentioning that. So I'm gonna come with you because yeah, they've been putting in work over there. And apparently there's a bunch of stuff underground and stuff too now.
TP minus 9375 100 6625. Teleportation will go away most likely pretty quickly. You'll be able to fly within an area in creative mode as long as that's turned on. Some of us are opting to engage with survival mode Minecraft right away. That's definitely what we're doing in Chicken Ka. It will be a survival world. These are giant mushrooms, Corey. These are giant mushrooms stacked on top of giant mushrooms.
I'm here for it.
Wow, that's
beautiful.
that's a hell of a stack of mushrooms. Yeah, and what they've done is created some of Greece's amazing antiquities in a Minecraft world. This is absolutely. I haven't been here before. Now, okay, so here's an example of where the creative world and the in-game economy are going to be in conflict. These are blocks of diamonds, and it would take you months, maybe years, to mine this many diamonds out of the ground in a Minecraft world. There's maybe one player on the server that has anything approaching this kind of wealth in diamonds, and she literally mined them all out of the ground by hand. So that's one of the places where we see we can't really let the creative build world crash into people that are trying to create an in-game economy, because they could just flood the market with diamonds and emeralds in a day, and everything, all of somebody's hard work would then be kind of worthless. So the balance between creative world beauty that people want to come and look at and playability, it's a real thing. And I'm glad we found a compromise value that works for everybody.
Can you come meet me over by the Sparta hole? They have a Sparta
They have a
hole.
Sparta hole? I'm sure it has
Nope,
a
it
better name
doesn't.
than that.
It's got to be called Sparta hole, obviously. I don't know. I get all
Okay,
excited.
I don't know
It's
where
down
that
at the
is. Let's
kind of the
see.
bottom of the map. You can just TP to me too.
Yeah,
Here at the way.
this is a beautiful set of builds, man.
Yep. Oh jeez.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a Sparta hole.
Right? I mean,
sh-
come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the void. It's the void, dude. Oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, you don't want to go through the bars there. Nope.
I did and almost died. Like this is what the void looks like, family.
Yeah, there's under the
Come on
bedrock.
back.
You can basically fall out of the world into infinity, as into a black hole, and I think that's just what happened to Corey.
Yeah, but I managed to start flying soon enough.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Oh, this is look at this. This is absolutely gorgeous, man. So this is basically their recreation of walking around in the world of ancient Greece, and they're a bunch of Greek guys. So that
Yeah, I love
checks
that.
out.
And they're running the Discord. There's a bunch of really cool people.
Doctor
Hey, is this a spinning?
Unani is
What is this? Oh, it's just waves. I thought it was spinning. Look at this.
you're spinning. You need a nap,
I mean,
buddy.
I need like a month of naps. Look
Oh,
at
is
this.
gorgeous.
Wow.
I wish one of them was here to tell us what all these builds represent. These
Yeah,
look like
we're gonna have
temples
to have
me.
them on, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this, the dome over here. Come on now. You guys are awesome,
Yep. This is definitely a temple
right?
or a church. How cool.
Whoa. Welcome to the Daedalus Labyrinth. You're gonna have to come over here, dude.
No, I don't know how I'm going there.
Um,
This is amazing.
Is this like, is that the Omega symbol? Man, oh man.
TP.
Boink.
I'm starting to get the point of how huge this is with this engagement strategy. Like
Right.
you are guys, you all know Westworld, right? The series, the show.
Yeah, yeah.
But this looks like Westworld. Right?
Whoa.
You take the train, you go there to this world and that world, you engage, you stay there, you have an economy, you do all these things. I see plugins for NPC and what all these things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa, dude.
Yes. Yes,
You
dude.
have to get on the train.
You
Get
took
on the
You
train.
took the only rail car.
Figure it out.
All right, I'm doing it.
Is that a Minotaur? It's a Minotaur.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
thinking-
These guys are giving chicken cock run for their money, dude. What the hell? Oh, now I'm stopped.
Wow.
Oh fuck. I just destroyed one of their things by accident. I gotta get out of survival mode or out of creative. Oh, it's a legit maze, Greg.
That's amazing. Amazing. See what I did
Ha
there?
ha ha ha. Boo.
Oh, I see. Nice. Nice.
Oh man.
Oh, it's covered too, so you really can't see the route through it.
It's not covered.
Oh,
that a
is
maze?
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the maze. of
This
the-
is
look, they made a picture.
amazed nards.
That is amazing. It's amazing, Corey.
Don't no, I denied.
Wow, this is yeah, this could mess you all up in Minecraft. Wow,
What's that, guys?
Well,
that is gorgeous. And we've I mean, I'll bet you we haven't seen 10% of what they put in here, for us to look around. Oh, look, there's a dining room. So after you get done with the maze, you can come have a relaxing beverage. They have all different kinds
I'm
of
getting some
beverages.
ideas here. Really, that's insane.
Right, and so now the community cluster, how many groups or people are represented in the cluster, Corey? Is it how many organizations are there in the community cluster?
Sorry, guys. Babs is bringing me some dinner because I haven't eaten yet today.
Well, that's awesome of her.
She's a good person.
She's all right, I guess.
She's a good lady.
So how many organizations are in the cluster? Wow, that's way too loud.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
How many organizations are in the cluster, Corey?
Right now?
Yeah.
I think there are 40 that will be porting. Wow, I'm like Englishing like a boss today. I think there's about 40 that are going to be porting into to the Genesis cluster, like the new version.
Right.
And we're starting a waiting list for cluster 2.0. And if you know anybody in or who wants access to the Southeast Asia market, I think I'm going to be starting a map just for them.
Nice.
So
Okay, so imagine 40 communities who set loose their 4 or 5 best Minecraft builders
yeah,
to do whatever with their plot. And this is what you get. And they'll all be different. They'll all be looking to upstage each other. They'll all be astonishing to walk around in and to see. And then it looks to me like what they're doing up here, maybe, is it looks like they're going to build like a railroad that goes all the way around the thing, so you can see it like from a sky ride. That looks like what they're going to do here. And guess what? That counts. The people that ride the rail around their plot to see everything are going to accrue benefit, and they'll accrue benefit by having those people do that. So that's when we talk about engagement on your plot. This is a really great example. You could spend a couple of days and probably not see everything they've hidden in here, little Easter eggs and traps and funny little scenes. And when Corey talks about just unleashing the raw, wild creativity of people, this is what he's talking about, is allowing people to come in here and just go hog wild and do amazing things. Oh, there's some chat stuff.
I got a question.
Yes.
How much, like with the standard client settings, like let's say low quality settings, would I be able to, let's say, be in the middle of this thing and see everything that's on the ground?
Well, I can show you what that would look like. I can turn my shaders off for a minute.
Because I thought like there was this kind of horizon setting that it doesn't render too far off.
It depends on your computer, right? You can assign it as much as much or as little horsepower as you want. So we'll just turn off shaders, and it'll just take a second to reload. Everything in it is still beautiful. It's just not as lit like the real world as you would want. So this is what the world looks like without any shaders at all. This is the Minecraft natural resolution of a Minecraft world. And I'm still playing on a pretty stout computer, so even with just the onboard processing power and RAM, it does pretty good frame rate wise. But it will depend on your computer, but nothing like the horsepower requirements to play Call of Duty or any of the other popular games.
I'm asking because like when I would engage players who are like new, they would probably have the default settings on.
Right, and this is what the world will look like to them, and it's still pretty darned impressive.
and the default, I mean, like the render distance, is there something that you can say, okay, the default render distance is like 100 blocks or something?
I think it's probably maybe 128, which is 3 or 4 chunks. A chunk is 16 by 16, so it's not terribly far. You can see where it's rendering in here pretty close in. But when you're immersed at ground level, that's a lot less obvious to you as you're moving about the world at walking speed or running speed. Even things build in pretty quickly when you're on the ground. When you're flying over it, it looks like it's taking forever for things to load. But when you're walking around, as you can see, you're really not missing anything in the distance, except trees come into view, buildings get a little longer. So that's what it looks like with no shaders on at all.
Right.
Yeah. And by the way, we know that shaders can run with less power than people think they can. I was using shaders even on my laptop, just not the super, the super whoop-de-doo ones. Corey was running SUSE shaders on his computer and was getting pretty good snapshots without too much trouble. There you go. And there's our shaders back on. You can see really it just does a better job of rendering the light and shadow. So there we go. That's some examples of how our community cluster members and others are intending to engage people in the Minecraft world and keep them walk. Look how long you could walk around in just this one complex in the cluster and engage with interesting things. And when we show the 2D map, I'm going to go back to that while I'm thinking of it. When we go back to the 2D map, what you can see is, this is the area that they've developed. And then what you would do, they'll build a station from the railway that comes into their plot. So, then you'll get on the railroad and you'll ride however far it is to the next exhibit to see the next build down the line. I think you could spend days just riding from one end of the cluster to the other, checking out everybody's builds. And like Corey says, we go away for 3 days, come back, and Boyd has built something amazingly new. And that means you would want to visit them on a regular basis to see what kind of new stuff they do. We think that people are going to be using Telegram and Instagram and even Facebook to say, hey, come back and visit us at Nifty Dom, because we're doing some really great stuff there, right? At Nifty Wizards, come see us there because we've done some more really cool stuff. We didn't even get there today, and they have a whole bunch of amazing comic book builds and X-Men builds and stuff like that going on over there. But there you go. That's about an hour of how we see people engaging users in the Minecraft world. And that's really, for me, this is not even engaging Minecraft players. People who play Minecraft, number one, are going to be impressed with the builds. Number two, they're going to want to come get themselves a plot of land and show everybody what they can do. Particularly guys like Anders who are learning that survival mode just has some benefits that you just don't see. For instance, there's some materials you can only get in survival mode that you can't get any other way in the world except for killing mobs, for string, from spider webs, gunpowder to make fireworks rockets. There are some things you can only do in survival mode, and we want those things enabled so people have that opportunity as well.
So would there be trading enabled between survival worlds?
Yes, but not between creative districts and survival districts.
Sure.
Right. And like I said, for instance, Donna, my Laugh Track 11 she's one of the old gangsters on this server. Been there from day one. Donna is a mining expert. She loves mining, and she's probably going to open a gem and mineral shop in the Chicken Cod Transport Center. So you could come and buy emeralds to trade with your villagers, or you could buy diamonds, or you could buy iron which you need to build a myriad of different projects that you might want. I'll give you for instance, you can make bone meal, which makes your plants grow better and faster. You can only get bone meal by either killing skeletons or by feeding plant material into a composter. And you can automate the composter by putting a chest over it and a chest to collect under it and feeding plant material into it. But you need hoppers to do that. Hoppers require iron. You can only get iron by digging the ore out of the ground and smelting it. So there's a process to get those materials that you either go through and mine for, or you're going to need to barter or buy them. So that's how we see the in-game economy influencing players' desire to engage and stay engaged. And on Chicken Cod, we've decided that survival mode is the best strategy to get players to want to come and participate in what we're doing.
Greg, I have a couple of questions
Sure.
I put in the chat, but on that note, so if a Minecraft player is in Boyd's land, will they be like in a tourist mode, or will there be things they can do, and what kind of things can they do if it's already built out?
Boyd may make things they can interact with or click on links or see things. They may make things available to them, like chests that have food or fruit or vegetables in them, but that's up to Boyd, right? I would hate to see them spend all the time building those amazing builds, have somebody come in with a pickaxe and just start tearing them down, right? So they'll be able to give specific people permission to do specific things on their land.
Great. And a couple other questions are, how do the Easter eggs work? And can we add links, like external links to items, or what?
I'm not sure what's meant by Easter eggs. If I use that phrase, what I meant is people will be hiding things that you have to walk around to find or look under to find, or you'll see a joke. But you know, Easter eggs meaning whatever the designers put in there. Sorry, the weather's making noise again. And I don't want to give any of them away. I know about a few, you know, like that people have put things on their property. You push a button, something extraordinary happens, right? So you know, it may say, please don't push this button, and you push the button and something crazy happens. So that's an Easter egg, and people will be able to design those into their plots. What was the second part was clickable links on signs. Yes, that's a thing that's absolutely going to happen. You will probably need to engage somebody from the Uplift team to do that for you. It will require a certain amount of magic that you can't have as a normal player in the game, but the admin people will have the ability to do that. And I don't know yet if Corey intends to charge for that service or not. What else?
Is this an updated map?
I'm sorry?
Is this map updated?
No, it is
Is
not.
this a new map?
This is not the new map. I wish it were, darn it, because I want to see it just as bad as everybody else. What you're looking at right now is actually the Chicken Ka region, which will be sort of an autonomous region in the game. The city proper is the area you can see lined out by the railroad grid. Oh boy, and one of us was busy today building in all the rail. So it's beginning to look like a really grown-up region. And then around it are properties that are owned by individuals or others. And this on the left side here, this plot, and this area here, we haven't moved the third one yet. This is going to be Crownlandia, right down the left side of Chicken Ka. So they made the choice to be a part of our server, and we're pretty excited about that. Any other
So are
questions?
we.
Well, we're going to be good neighbors. It's going to be easy. We're going to be easy to get along with. We promise not to launch any chickens in your general direction.
Can you show us
Okay.
the general boundaries of Central Land?
Yeah, not well. I think you can, and I wish Corey had stuck around for this part, but I think you can guess that what he's calling Center City is probably going to encompass the main cathedral and the area around it by probably about this much. Okay, it'll be the same size area as what you see outlined as Chicken Ka. The 3x3 plus 1 all the way around. So 5x5 is pretty much the maximum volume we can do per server. So I would imagine when he talks about Center City, he's talking about a block this wide by this high. And I think you're probably you can expect it to be right about here. And the way what'll happen is there'll be a teleport system from the central spawn hub, and you can choose where you want to go. You'll either go to the transport hub at Chicken Ka, or you'll go to the transport hub in Community Cluster 1 or the transport hub in Center City. And you then will go back to the cathedral to go to the next destination.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, sir. As originally envisioned, these long stretches of rail would have been necessary to get from one place to the other. And what we had to do is adjust the idea that all these rail plots are no longer relevant because you're traveling by teleport from here to here directly. So that's why there's so much more rail around and through the cities, to give the rail plot owners a chance to collect the revenue from people wandering around in the different city districts. And if you're wondering, Chicken Ka proper is about 3K by 3K. So each of these quadrants represents probably 1.5 kilometers by 1.5 kilometers. That's not quite right. That's about 1.5 kilometers. That's about 1.5 kilometers. So these are a little bit bigger than the community cluster plots. And right now, the only neighborhood we've started building in is what we're calling the Maya Quarter by the pyramid with the giant chicken on top. And that's right here. So you can see we have a lot of room to expand and grow. And we're going to be developing out a lot of really interesting things in the next little while. And we're looking for other people to come and share that experience and build amazing things in our part of the cluster, our part of the world.
I had a question about the rail plots.
About the what?
About the rail plots.
Yeah, please.
The way I understand it is you can never leave the rail car or you will be teleported to the moon, right?
No, you can definitely leave the rail car. But what you can't do is you can't divert the rails to go extra distance. Or you know what you can't interfere with the path of the rail on the plot itself. Everything else is fair game as long as people in the rail car can fit through it.
So you can jump off the rail car at any time?
Well, I'd rather you didn't, because that leaves the rail car on the rail. Hang on.
Exactly. That's my question, because like
Yeah, and there's a solution for that. I've designed local rail stations where you'll be able to, if you know you're going somewhere local, you get on the outside rail and it'll shunt off to a little station that collects up the car, and you have to change trains. Like when you're on the bus, you can ding the bell to get off at the next stop and they'll stop there. So this is going to be the same kind of system where it'll stop at every local station. But if you know you're going a really long way, you can get on the inside rail, which is express and goes for longer distances. But that's going to keep us from ending up with lots of rail cars on the rails, annoying everybody.
right.
Okay.
What happens when there's a rail car and you want to?
I'm sorry. You got to finish the sentence.
What happens when there is a rail car on the path and
Well, with everything completely covered in redstone, another all-powered rail, you hit it and you go backwards at full speed forever. It will never, never lose momentum. So you definitely don't want to do that, right? Because then you'd have to jump off that rail car, and now we've got two rail cars stuck on the track, and that's not fun.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, there'll be a system to. Everybody will need to build their own rail car stations on the local rail, but that's how you make stations to take you to other builds from the main rail lines. So we're all going to be very busy building out our rail infrastructure over the next 3 or 4 months, I'm pretty sure. Is there anybody else that had questions?
You answered mine with building this.
All right. Thank you, Gwen. I'm going to check in. I think Recourier was going to join me. Let me.
Yeah, he's coming.
Okay,
I just
very
sent him
good.
the link.
All right. Thank you very
Also,
much.
I see there's a question that just came in. How will the random land plot work? Do you know?
The random land plots?
Yeah.
Randomly. They are assorted sizes and assorted locations, and they will be shuffled and dealt, and we don't know who's going to get what.
Yeah, the question is basically how I can redeem the wax, the one that is selling in Atomic Hub right now.
You can sell them right now on the secondary market, but they work like a pack of NFTs. In other words, you won't know which land you get until we distribute them and the actual NFT, and then you open the pack, you find out where your lands are. But if you
how is that done, or that's not yet happening? When is that?
Probably with I don't want to give a date. It's not a matter of months, it's a matter of days or weeks. But there's a lot. There's I think 3,000 rail plots and 3,900 land plots that have to be distributed over the next however long it takes. So people that bought the Genesis NFTs and 10 packs of rail plots, I think are going to get their ability to open them first. So we're going to have to just ease people into the world. And right now we're in the process of moving things around on the maps. So we're almost there. It won't be long. But in the meantime, you're just going to have to kind of count on the videos that we show and the 2D map to see what's going on. And if you ask me where do I think is the best place to put my life, I have no idea. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I think Chicken Cobb, but you can't use your random plots for that. Those aren't getting assigned to Chicken Cobb. That's happening in a separate sale in a few more weeks. But where's the best place strategically? Hell, I don't know. I'd want to be right next to Michael's giant roller coaster. But I'm not sure. I don't know if there's value in being close to that, or if there's value in people coming to see your stuff and then traveling to that. So the strategy is like, we don't know what the strategy is because nobody's ever done this before. So we really don't have a way to tell people what's the best way to approach that. And there's Recourier joining us. Hey man, are you still muted, or we got you?
Yeah, I was letting you finish your little talk there.
Yeah,
So,
how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm excited to see how this land thing works out, and I was really interested in what you were just saying. I know I've got plans with some of the other communities,
Right.
and so it's like we're really interested in being near each other and finding ways to connect our pieces of land. So I know for me, a huge part of my my plan for how lands are going to work out and how railways and stuff are going to work out are to make it easy for the people that I want to be hooking up with to get back and forth to each other. So
right. We know that, and we think a lot of horse trading is going to go on there.
oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's like any pack opening, any of these NFT, like you never are like, all right, there's X amount of cards in this. I'm going to open up a pack and I'm just going to get a complete collection, right? It just doesn't work that way. It's
Right.
It's designed not to work that way. So the whole point of it all is to get in there and say, okay, here's my rares and here's my commons and here's my uncommons, and you know, this is my big piece of land and this is my little piece of land, and here's a huge piece but it's in the middle of nowhere, here's this tiny piece but it's right where I want it to be, and then boom, the economy takes off right from there.
It's gonna be pretty boom. Okay, I'm gonna give everybody, I'm gonna give a little sneak preview of, oh no, we're gonna do cluster stuff. What am I doing? I'm anxious to get over to, why is that still booming? The weather's booming here. Hang on a minute. I'm anxious to get over to Chicken Cod because Russ apparently went in there today and laid all of our rail. Like he completely did all of our rail in our city zone, which is pretty crazy. But let's get back to sharing in-game stuff.
Yeah. The one question that I did have, so I know that there's going to be different maps, and those different maps will be different I don't know, communities or whatever, right?
Yes.
And so is there a way to travel between maps, or is it going to be a log out, log in type of thing? Or
I think that each cluster, I know this is how Chicken Ka is going to work. So that's the one I'm most familiar with, because basically there will be, think where the cathedral is now, where we all, the round cathedral with the dome, will become what in most games we call a spawn hub, where you will, when you log into the game, you'll start out there, and you'll choose where you want to go from there. And so there'll be a portal. You'll teleport from there to the center of Chicken Ka, to the transport center at Chicken Ka, and you can explore the entire Chicken Ka region from there. But when you want to leave Chicken Ka and go to the community cluster 1, you'll teleport back to the spawn hub, then go through a different portal to go to the cluster. Now, I believe that the spawning rules will work the same for people returning to the game. In other words, if you have a bed somewhere and you sleep in it, when you respawn into the game again, you'll go there. You won't have to go through the whole process of going from the cathedral to the cluster to wherever in the cluster you were trying to get to. I'm pretty sure that that mechanic will still work, where you don't have to do the whole travel process all over again.
right.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's just that like if you want to relate it back to the real world, those hubs are just like the airports, right? If you want to go from the US to Europe, you go and you hop a plane.
Right.
But if you want to drive from whatever, New York City to Connecticut, you're in your map.
Pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, short range rail or walking, long range teleport. You'll have to teleport between the, no block can be, no server can have more than a 5x5K area. So however many clusters we need, that's how many servers there will be. But
it'll all be part of one
world,
in that you teleport here, you teleport there.
Correct.
And the main map with the cathedral is your hub, and you travel through that to get everywhere else.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Look at all this going on down in the Cogs cluster. I haven't been down there since, is that Nils? I think Nils is the guy who's built to no one, right? Yeah. Let's have a look there. 11/6/25. That's pretty cool. Let's I'm going to teleport us down there and let's see are you in game?
I can be pretty quickly.
Where did I
oh wow, they got a plenty of livestock going on.
Am I in the right spot? I don't see myself on the map. Where did I end up? Oh, I'm there. Okay. Let's see. Let me face south.
So it seems like I've not been having to deal with a lot of or any bad guys as of late,
Right. That's the mobs are not enabled in the game at this time.
but they will come back at some point.
Well, I think that's going to be
Our discussion
just-
tomorrow.
I don't know how that's going to happen. I want them enabled immediately, but everybody that I share chicken cow with doesn't. What is enabled is the ability that you can die. You need to feed yourself. You can drown in lava, and you can't magically create whatever blocks you need to. Holy smokes. I hadn't seen this.
Is it a flying cog?
Yeah, and it's glass. It's clear glass, so it's reflected on the ground. Oh, that is beautiful, man.
I don't even know how they did that, but that's super cool.
That is beautiful. I don't know if you get how big this is, but I'm flying over it at high speed and it's just not. Wow, that's gorgeous.
I'm also having, so I just logged in. So Kush is, you know, Kush, he's one of the Crypto Monkey builders, and he's building a lot of stuff, and he's building for Metaphors too. And he is constantly working and building and doing stuff. And I can only get in from time to time, but I just show up in my room and there's a sign there. My room is gone. All of the walls are gone. Everything's disappeared. And there's just a sign. I made you a better room. Go find your bed.
Now you just have to find it.
Yeah. So
wow, look at all this. This is beautiful, man. He's been busy. Looks like this looks like it's going to be some sort of spaceport.
Yeah.
Or a high rise. Look, there's a garden there.
Yeah, this is really cool. I don't even I love some of these ideas that people are building vertically. But it's I don't even know how you go about doing this and getting into it. We've been doing a lot of underground stuff.
Right.
And I've been trying very much to try and tie in different pieces of the comic book and the lore into the actual land. And then I'm hoping, you know, in the future to have certain tasks you can do and it'll get you some kind of something.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah. This is cool. It's interesting to see all the different packs and different stuff that everybody uses too.
Like the shaders and look, they got a bee. This is a bee farm over here. Look.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So
that's what's producing these honeycomb blocks. Yeah.
So yeah, there's the shaders, but then there's like Kush,
texture packs.
He sent me up with Epic Adventures,
right?
Which is some other kind of resource pack or something, and it makes everything look like totally different. And it's interesting. I like the looks of it. I really like the style of it.
Right.
But it's kind of funny some of the stuff you build. That's why the Empire State Building ended up being pink.
Pink, right? Yeah.
Because he thought it was black. He's building it, and he's like, it's this really like dark, and it looks like stone. And he's like, oh, this thing's awesome, right? And he finished it. He's done. And then he goes and sees it for the first time on somebody else's screen. He's like, why is it pink?
Oh, God.
What? Why is it pink? And then it was like, you know what? We're just running with it.
You can buy texture. You get them for free. There's texture packs that make everything look like Super Mario World.
Oh, awesome.
That make it look like all different kinds of video game looks in the texture pack. But I'll tell you what's most impressive here, I think, and I would love to talk to him to see if this is what's happening. But there's a lot of bees and a lot of honey being made here, and I actually think he's doing this in survival mode. In other words, I think he's grown all this honeycomb instead of just manifesting it into the world. I think that's what he's done. Is he's created enough beehives. Look, because you had to climb up on this to build it, and look at all the bees. That's more bees than I've ever seen anywhere. So I think that's what he's doing. Look at the cows.
That
Oh
is
my
a lot of cows.
Lord. That's a crazy amount of cows.
Between the bees and the cows, they'll give Blockchain Heroes a cat problem as some serious competition.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be an interesting Wow, that's a lot of livestock down there.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Okay, so that's interesting. But yeah, I think he's making this perimeter out of honeycomb that he farmed himself with all these bees. So in survival mode, that's what you have to do. You have to figure out what the process is to get a block, right? You know, like we're building a lot of things out of. If you look at Boyd, building a lot of things out of dyed concrete, right? So you need gravel and sand and dye, the color dye, and you basically dye 1 block per bit of color. So you have to grow a shit ton of purple flowers to get purple blocks, right? Or green cactus is where you get green dye. So you have to know what the material is in the game that produces it, and you have to farm that. Or somebody has to become the dye merchant, and they're going to grow all the stuff that makes the dye and sell it to you so you can dye your concrete. And that's how an in-game economy is gonna function. But if they've chosen, and I don't know who's chosen what as far as the cluster goes, but I think the entire server will have to be either survival or creative. I don't think there's going to be within the server the ability to choose what your region does.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for, you know, we'll save the conversation for later, but I've gotten some feedback on people's opinions on survival versus creative, and what it means to have some people get in and have creative first, and then latecomers have survival, and the politics of all that. So it's going to be an interesting conversation when it all happens.
Well, okay, and I understand it, but we had even talked about sundown in creative mode. Somebody gets in and they have creative mode for 60 days and then it's gone, but it's going to take a while to the idea is to reduce complexity, because this is a complex beast to run when everybody starts coming in with their rail claims and everything else. So I think Corey just had to decide, to make the minimum number of choices, and that was the compromise. It was really the only way to make all that happen. I went the wrong way. I was supposed to fly west, and I flew.
I really kind of like the idea, and we'll talk about this when we talk about it more at length, is that you do have this need to make to have creative mode to get some of these things done that we want to get done, so that the core infrastructure is there as people show up.
Right.
But I think that to handle that that jump that you have to make from creative to survival is that, as people come in, or if they buy a land plot, or if they whatever, part of what you bought with that land plot is a basic resource kit. So you come in and you're in survival mode, but you get a shulker box full of some stuff to give you a good jump start.
Oh, look at you whipping out the fancy shulker box term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a chest, or you get a shulker box, or you get a couple, or you get something. So it's like here's your welcome present. You don't have to start from zero. Here are some starting resources, so you can get in and you don't have to grind your first few days. You've got some basics. You've got a nicer than normal axe, a nicer than normal shovel. You got a handful of things to get you rolling. So you're going in and you're having an enjoyable time the first day, and you don't have to grind it out. And then, to get complex, to get
right.
big builds, yeah, you're gonna have to work through it in survival mode. But
I also like that it's worth remembering that lots of people were given an opportunity to come in and do a community cluster plot.
Yeah.
That didn't choose to get in here and start moving blocks around for a while.
Yeah.
So at some level, the people that got in this early are the ones that have done the builds. Aren't just because they had creative modes, because they got in early, they got to start. They got people in here that they knew that played Minecraft, ringers, if you will, to get in here and start doing stuff. I'm trying to see who this is. This is Ratakeeper, Anki the Cat, Destruct the Box, and Ratakeeper. That's who owns this one. I don't know what community group that is, but they took a little desert village here and made it into like look at that. It looks like an oasis in the desert. That's kind of pretty.
It's nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a villager. Oh, of course, we got Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. I can't remember which thing it is. You're the expert. Which thing is that?
Well, if it's on wax, it's Street Fighter.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't wait till we can get some other NFTs and art and different stuff to look at inside of the Uplift. I think that'll be really cool too.
Yeah, and that's coming. That's a pretty complex beast, and we're working on how to do that. I don't have any contact with the dev team now. Dr. Wayne and I hang out together on a show on Saturdays sometimes. That's all I ever see them. So I don't know what those guys are up to. They're like the skunk works in the dev box. So yeah. There's a lot going on around here, huh? Are you finding out where your bedroom is?
Yeah, I found my bedroom. Kush built me a legit bachelor pad.
Nice.
This is like some real deal stuff. I had just thrown 4 walls together, and he's got a llama picture for me. I think that's a callback to Upland.
Nice.
I love my llama pictures.
4.
This is like he built almost like a little art gallery that we're walking around in. And then there's all right, does he have room enough for everybody? I think so. Yeah. This is cool.
I'm going to go over and see what Jimmy's been up to in the Generios plot.
What has he got going on? Oh, he built some more interesting stairs. Oh, you took down my stairs, dude? That's all right.
Whoops. That was a mistake.
And we've got a fireplace now. Nice.
I can hear the villagers.
Yeah. Oh, we got a
Right.
fireplace. I like that. Oh, did he build a real
who's this
chimney?
here?
Oh, he built a real chimney too. Goes up and out.
Who is Sub-Zero Kelvin? Oh, that's a huge build right in front of me.
All right.
What?
Upstairs. What changed upstairs?
Oh, this is the crypto hedge fund guy that Corey brought in here, and this is what I mean. This guy got invited in. He built a little house. It's over here somewhere, and then over the next 3 days, he just came in here and built these beautiful giant towers. He got on it. He got in and decided this was an interesting thing, and he wanted to play here.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's my favorite kind of thing is people that get in here and say, hell yeah, this is cool. Let's do this. Especially like those of us that, my kids are grown up. So therefore nothing I ever do will be cool again.
Right.
But the idea that, people who have kids that are Minecraft age, I'm loving seeing their reaction when they find out you play Minecraft, you old people play Minecraft. Really enjoying that. Kushbud is kind of describing what he's doing in the text buffer. Made another stairwell too, but it's kind of hidden. All right, now we're flying over to Generios. Some people were like, "Oh, I got nothing but ocean on my plot." Well, let me show you what you do with that.
We had a lot more ocean than we do now, and we did a lot of terraforming.
Yeah.
Where did this go?
Well, Jimmy, he made. I put the logo flat on the water surface,
That's cool.
and then he came and made it into a set of rainbow mountains that are in the middle of the plot. They look like almost like a rainbow volcano, and of course, he used 8 million sea lanterns because Corey.
Well, you saw what Kushbud did with the metaphors thing, right?
Yep.
That's awesome because you can go in and stuff to be sorted from Kushbud's pockets. All right, fair enough.
Look at what Jimmy's done under here. He's got all sorts of that's all glass over habitat. In other words, he's made an underwater farm system down here.
Yeah, that's
and cool. I don't know how you get into it. I think you probably get into it from the island, so we kind of fly over that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah, we have that. We have like all of these tunnels that go under our land, and then Kush builds some glass tunnels and everything. The stuff he comes up with is really great.
Yeah, he's been very busy over there.
Yeah, he's always working, and sometimes he gets a little ahead of me, and I'm like, "Oh, what happened here?" Like I just came in, and I'm like, "Oh, your bedroom's gone." But don't worry, I made you another one, which is, dude, college me would be all about that bedroom he made me.
So that's the only little bit of land in the Generios plot is that little island right there. So I think Jimmy did a fine job of sorting out what to do with all that water. And basically he's put habitats and farms underneath the water.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what you got to do. Pretty neat.
I went down real deep on the Metaforce land, and I went down to like 7 or 8 or something, and there's like a whole giant abandoned mine structure down there.
Yeah, that's those generate naturally, and in survival mode. Okay, here's the thing. In addition to like just killing the mobs and taking one spider web or one bone or one gunpowder from them, you can make farms. You can make machines basically that trap those entities and kill them en masse, and you get XP, which is good for you for spells and things like that. But also you can mass collect materials. So down in those abandoned mine shafts, there are rooms, and when you're walking through and you find a room that's green, like green stone,
Yeah.
or like moss covered stone, well, that's a spawn room, and inside it is a little black wire crate. And
Yes.
when you find one of those in the survival world, you basically block that room off. You kill all the mobs, you light it up so no new mobs can spawn out of it, and then you can make a collection system that floats the whatever hatches out of that box into the water, floats it downstream, and then kills it. And you can collect all the stuff from them by the dozens. You can just stand there, and let your computer run, and it will accrue dozens of skeletons, dozens of spiders, dozens of whatever that spawn. So finding those spawn rooms, that's where you find them, is in those abandoned mine shafts.
Yeah,
Looks like we got some chat comments here.
I broke one of those. That was probably not the best move.
What is your opinion on automating buildings? I am all for it. That's an aspect of the game that I love. You can make farms that create iron. You can make farms that create all sorts of game materials. Creepers drop gunpowder. You want fireworks? Okay, that's you gotta have a creeper farm. You want gunpowder to do automatic mining, where you just plant charges in the wall and blow chunks of it out. You're gonna need TNT, which you need gunpowder. So I like automated farms. I know that they have an impact on servers, and we'll have to see if we have to regulate their use. But as far as living in a survival world, those machines, automated farms, and not just for those things, but also like you can make automated sugarcane and bamboo farms that when they reach a certain level, they automatically get chopped down and stored in chests for you. What do you do with sugarcane? You make paper. You need paper to make maps. You need paper to make books. You need books to do spells and enchantments, right? So there's a reason for all these things being. Hang on, I fix the weather again here. There's a reason for all these things being how they are.
This is awesome.
Oh, okay. He's saying not farms, but scripted schematic building. I'm using that to put giant logos into the world. And again, I'm using the tool while it's here. It's actually my first experience ever using that stuff, and I'm not very good at it yet. It usually takes me several tries to get something manifested into the world correctly. But I don't have any problem with that, especially if you're going to be living in one of the creative zones in the Uplift, right? If you're living in a creative zone and your focus is on building your business presence here for outside, then sure, let's do schematics, and we'll probably charge you a little bit to implement them, because it takes time for somebody to get the files and make sure they're done properly and put them in. So there you go. And that must be Nils there to know when he's got a camera on. How's it going, buddy?
Is that his music?
Hi, folks.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
I suddenly got music coming out of my speakers, and I don't know where it's from.
Not me.
Oh yeah, no, I think it was from you. I mean, I'm also hearing somebody's music. I don't know.
Oh, is that Kush? Wait, what are you carrying around there, Kush? What is that? Are you dancing? He's dancing.
That crazy Kush bud. So I got to tell you guys, I know we're a little early on the clock here. I'm actually completely bushed. So we're going to fly around, look at a few more things. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you guys a sneak preview of at least the transport hub at Chicken and kind of explain what we're laying out and why we're doing it that way.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
not finished. I'm not exactly thrilled that I didn't get the dome roof done yet, but doing it the old-fashioned way. So 6.5.
Dude, I'm so
0.
excited what we got going on here. Oh, geez. Apparently Kush hadn't put the ladder in that particular hole yet.
So this is the biggest thing I've ever built in Minecraft. And it's 150 by 150. It's the central transportation hub in Chicken Ka. I'm going to show you the 2D map real quick, just to make sure you guys see what we got going on there. Yeah, so this is the center of the city of Chicken Ka. The entire server array is 5 squares by 5 squares, 5 kilometers by 5 kilometers. The city itself is ringed in the small green 50 by 50 rail plots. You can see that Katie has been busy at work surveying out some plots that are going to be for sale in the next land sale. There'll be some there. There'll be some along the bottom. And but what's in the city is now under the control of the OG7. Basically, that would be me, Donna, Sue Gentry, Sue's daughter Katie, our friend Ginny Rupert, and Russ Nagin, and Jennifer Barrett. Jennifer Barrett is the Banksy of the Uplift. She's the one that's done those amazing murals. So the 7 of us have pretty much autonomous control over this region, and Crownlandia is going to be the 3 plots here along the side. My pirate world is going to have to get transferred and shifted into this space because it's a flyer. It's out here in the middle of nowhere, away from everything else. So it needs to be transferred. But so Chicken Ka proper is when if you teleport to Chicken Ka from the spawn hub, where you'll come in at is in the transportation hub. That's the building at the center. And over here is the first neighborhood that we've mapped out. That's going to be what we're calling the Maya Quarter. And it's going to be themed to look like a Mesoamerican village with little haciendas and you'll be able to buy small plots for houses or businesses and things like that. But this will be the center of everything. I would imagine, now that I know this is going to be how this is going to work, I'm going to have to build some sort of a portal, a dramatic portal entry, and I'll probably do it under the floor. I'll probably do it down below this level. So you'll come up from the portal room into this massive transport hub center. There's a sense of scale. So it's each of these platforms is this one over here. I decided we're going to do like a miniature rainforest because we're concerned about tropical rainforest, and our whole city is situated. This part of the city is situated in tropical rainforest. So we're going to be able to tell a story here about why tropical rainforests are important, why they're under threat in Central and South America, and what people can do to help. Right. So we're going to create like a mini environment here with signs around it that explain and probably have links to some groups that are working to preserve rainforests and how you can help. That's one of the things that's central to us in Chicken Ka is doing good public service work and charity work. So in these other zones, we haven't really decided, but we'll probably have a mercado. Oops, sorry. I guess I should fix that floor. We'll probably have a market where there will be businesses that you can buy things from. We know that Donna wants to. What happened there? Donna wants to do a gem and mineral shop. Donna's been mining in survival mode for a year now in this server, so she has an enormous, legitimate stockpile of things that you'll want to build in your world. And she's probably gonna. That's Donna flying around me right now. She'll probably want a shop in here where she can sell that stuff. Sue Gentry is an artist in the real world, and she's very good at taking the fibers. The wool and making banners that have words spelled on them and pictures on them. So she's probably going to open a banner shop in here. You could come over, you could buy banners for your house. So we're going to create a marketplace here for other people's materials. And as long as you're making those materials in another server that's in a survival mode, it'll be good. You'll be able to buy and sell things over here that you produce. So that's what we're setting up to do, is have commerce here. So anyway, that's the inside of the transport hub. Up top, I'm working on this, but if you've ever been to South America, Chichen Itza.
I'm just seeing the map here.
Oh God, I hate that. I keep forgetting to share the correct screen, and nobody tells me until 10 minutes into my spiel.
I wasn't sure if that was what you're trying to show us or not, but
no, sorry, no. This is the transport hub. Yeah, so it's pretty darn big. I wondered why. Never mind. It wasn't. Well, as I said, over here, there's a giant little indoor rainforest where we're going to be able to explain why tropical rainforests are important.
Oh, in there. Okay. I thought
Right,
you were
inside
talking
the
about
building.
next block over on the map.
No, so when
All
you
right.
get into the transport hub, there's going to be several experiences right here in the building. Right. There's going to be a market, like with stalls and shops and food and stuff like that. Lisa is going to have a Lisa Crownlandia coffee shop, in here because she wanted a presence as soon as we described it. But the outside of the building is pyramid-like, but it represents El Caracol in Chichen Itza, which has a cylindrical observatory with a red dome on top of it, if you've ever been down there. And so I'm going to make a dome on top of this. I kept getting the circle wrong, but yeah, this is a 150 by 150 building that is going to be our transport hub. And as you can see, the rail lines run off in the cardinal directions to go to the boundaries of our land. And then right over here is the Maya quarter. This is the neighborhood that we're going to develop, and it's built around the pyramid at Palenque, or
So
a
we'll-
rendition of it with a giant stone chicken on it, but still.
So each 5K region or district or whatever is its own server and will have its own transport hub.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But then
And
all of these separate servers work together to make the one world.
the Uplift World. Right.
And that'll all be on the 2D map.
Yes.
So you'll
think-
see,
I
you'll
think
be
so.
able to fly over the 2D map and theoretically be moving from
I don't
region
know
to
that.
region to region.
I don't know that, and I'll see if I can get an answer for that for the weekend. I love that with this texture pack on, the gold is reflective, so you can tell it's a gold beak.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the there's a lot of stuff going on under this pyramid that I can't show you.
Yeah.
It's going to be super interesting to come wander around. We have some ideas, like we're going to have a lost treasures of the Maya art preservation hunt to teach
Yeah.
the lesson that the reason there's art treasures no longer exist is because colonizers destroyed them, and those that are found are extraordinarily valuable. So we're going to have a thing where we're going to hide 5 art treasures somewhere in Chicken Kai, and it's a big area. And if you're the first person to find all 5, you're going to win an extraordinarily valuable NFT. Maybe a significant wax prize as well. So that's one of the ways we're going to encourage people to come walk all over the land and look for things.
Yeah.
There's another thing happening that this developed yesterday. Somebody that is known to us from Corey's first venture in cryptocurrency, aside from investing in it, was to create a shitcoin called Shipple. And he created quite a community around Shipple where we made memes all the time. We had meme contests. We found ways to give away Shipple. And my first kick at that was to found a little thing called the Shipple Flying Circus, where I got mad at all the people asking me for Shipple. How can I get some Shipple? How can I get some of the Shipple, man? Because it wasn't on an exchange yet. And Corey literally had to just send you a bunch if you were going to get any at all.
Mhm.
So I finally said, I'll tell you what, if you go out right now, you donate to your local homeless shelter or food bank, and you come back and you post a picture of the receipt, I'll give you 100,000 Shipple. And we ended up raising like $700 for charity that night. And I went, oh, I realized, I was like, oh, now I see what we can do with this. So one of the guys that was involved in that project, Martian Bull Shipples, goes by Marty. He came to us. He figured out we were doing this a couple of weeks ago. He's been paying attention. So the elders of Chicken Ka, that stupid weather. I usually like the weather when I'm playing, but not when I'm trying to talk.
Yeah.
He came to us and made an offer. So the elders of Chicken Ka are basically, there's 7 of us that are in control of this zone of the map. And he asked us to sell him a significant chunk of Chicken Ka to develop what he's calling Shippletopia, which is basically going to be a Shipple commemorative world. It's going to be about this much of this quadrant.
Nice.
And he's going to, what he paid us to do this is going to set up a charitable trust, a charitable fund. So we're going to start collecting money for everything we sell and do in the greater Chicken Ka region. We're going to start giving to charity. We're going to start making sure that people are aware of the charities that need help and raising money for them by selling NFTs of our memes, of our builds, of what happens in Chicken Ka. So right away, we landed on a way to give away a bunch. And that's what motivated. We're just a bunch of people that like playing Minecraft together. We didn't see any of this coming. It just happened that Corey was in our circle of friends when he started thinking about this.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty powerful thing. And we're super grateful to Marty, because not only did he give us a significant amount of money to start making this happen, he's giving us he's giving us control of it. He's basically handing us the keys to this charity or this charitable giving effort, and letting us decide what are the charities that are going to benefit. So we're really super grateful. And it means a big area of the city we won't have to build or develop. He's going to start doing that for us. And then he told us he's only going to use a little over half of what he sold us, and we're going to be able to sell the rest and fund the charity with sales from those plots that we developed within Shipletopia down here in the southwest quadrant of the city.
That's
So,
great.
yeah, it's a good
So,
thing.
so then this will be Chicken Ka, and then the community cluster will also be a 5K square. Will there have to be multiple community clusters to fit
It looks that
everybody
way. It looks that way.
in? But will those end up being somehow near each other or adjacent to each other?
I don't know how that's being determined. I would imagine that one of the things that makes Corey's hair look like it does most of the time is him answering questions about who could be who next to who. I would imagine that's probably one of the frustrating things that he's dealing with right now.
Yeah.
And
I think I loved the idea of the community cluster in that that's all right there. And that's the micro universe of Wax and everybody, because we're already, Wax exists very much on Telegram and Discord, and we're already all in each other's servers and bouncing between each other and sharing information. So I love the idea of that translating into an area. And so I'm very hopeful that can still happen, so that if it does have to be on multiple servers, at least you can go somehow hop from a community cluster, like put 4 servers together and say, okay, these are, this one you can go to these 4 from here. You don't have to go back to spawn, but or something. I don't know. I'm hopeful.
Well, I actually think that first of all, I could see us opening up like a bed and breakfast for anybody from any of the other clusters to come stay over here. Spawn, hit the sleep button, wake up the next morning in our part of the world, just travel wherever you want pretty quickly. It's not, it's a fairly long rail ride from the outer edge of Chicken Ka back to the transport hub. But guess what? All of those rail plots you see are not going to be owned by the people that run Chicken Ka. They're going to be owned by random players that bought rail plots. Right. Now, they're not being assigned in this sale, but they're going to want you to come travel over these rail lines as well.
So these sales earlier today and last weekend, those are all for
the cluster,
the community cluster.
I believe so.
Server.
I believe so. Yep. So we got a couple of comment questions. You talked about train carts becoming an issue if left on the rail. Isn't it possible to kind of make large carts that go automatically? No, it's not. Single rail cars is the only thing available in the Minecraft world. And there's a couple of things about Dacathon. And Martian Bullshibbles piped in and put a big heart emoji and a rocket ship in because he's super excited. And we got some cool stuff I can't talk about yet. We have one of the coolest upcoming projects in any of the Uplift is going to happen from right here in Chicken Ka, and we're super excited about it. And I wish I could tell you more, but it's gonna be cool as hell. There you go. Is another railway planned? No, and I don't know that there's. I don't think there's any other plan afoot for the Nether just yet.
Well, there's one built already, but I guess it'll get destroyed.
It goes from the cathedral to the community cluster, and I don't know if when the cluster gets moved. You know what? I don't understand how the geography of that move works, so I'm not sure how to answer that. So I think that the future of use of the Nether is indeterminate just yet. That's how I would answer that question. People think that what's been happening is I get a lot of blowback or blow-by communication for Corey because we're on a lot together, and people think that we talk every day. Here's how: if you had to picture in the real world what my communications with the Corey are like, I stand in my front yard with a cup of coffee. And Corey rides by on a bicycle really fast, and I yell a question at him. And then I wait around, drink my coffee, and an hour later, he rides back by my house and yells the answer as he goes by. That's kind of how our communication system works right now. It's, hey, Corey, what's the... He comes by, he goes, well, what you want to tell him? And that's how things are happening right this minute. Yeah. And once in a while, I get like an hour of Corey's time, and it's the best thing ever because we're very good friends. We've lived together, or we lived near each other for years. He's now down in Miami. That asshole, he moved away and abandoned us. But a few months ago, I drove down to Clewiston near Lake Okeechobee, and he drove up from Miami so we could meet halfway and sit at a picnic bench for an hour and hang out. It was like that's the last time I saw him is 4 months ago now. So, COVID.
Yeah. Well, there's a light at the end of the tunnel now. So.
Yeah, and I'm told everybody's going to get vaccinated by May. That's That's
Well,
significant.
my understanding is the supply will be ready by May. How
Right.
effective people are in.
Yeah, I live in
getting
Florida,
it.
so all bets are off for a sane season rollout.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But I was told that I can get a note from my doctor now and get vaccinated anywhere they're offering them. So that's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready to rock and roll. I don't know is if Lisa Chandler's here and ready to take back over. I have had a long day of live streaming. Some of it
Oh, it's
unintentional.
great.
Did we
Real-
answer questions?
I think we did.
Okay.
If there's any more, find you in the Uplift World Telegram group or Crownlandia Telegram group.
I'm not hard to
You've
find.
been
Are
in all of-
we got something on the schedule to talk about Crownlandia's plans here in the next day or two, correct?
We do. We
All right.
do. We're going to get a sneak Crownlandia. Very excited about it.
Okay, well, I've left everything where it was on the map for now because it's easy to show people what's been done over there, which isn't a whole lot. But we can talk more about the future plan and how it's going to run, and what your hopes and dreams are for it.
Great, great. Looking forward to it.
All right, well,
Thanks
Lisa,
so
thank
much
you
for joining.
Thank you for giving
Hey,
us this
Greg,
block
I
of
had
time.
One
Yeah.
more quick technical question while I've
Sure.
got you. While I'm
Sure.
the one, while you're the one riding the bike and I'm the one on the coffee, right?
I ride slower than Corey though, so you can
Yeah.
ask me. those.
Well, that's then I have a chance to keep up maybe. So one question I've been getting, because I've definitely become in my circles, I've become the uplift guy and
Haha,
when
lucky
it comes
you.
to me, right? So then I'm going to you and Corey. One question that's on people's mind and they're concerned about is how that transition time of the land getting moved is going to work. And are people going to have to put pencils down and sit on their hands for a day? Is there a possibility work that's getting worked on gets lost? Like how will the move, how will that happen? And how will that affect the people that are currently building?
Okay, I don't, like I said, I don't have any conversations with the devs about their magic voodoo skills that they use.
Mhm.
But I think what they're doing right now is they're copying each big plot in the cluster and putting it on a new machine and making sure that everything in it is working. And that like they're moving one thing at a time, but they're leaving the server live while they do it. So they basically copy an entire region of the world, move it to the new server, make sure everything is working correctly. And if it's not, they move it, they go back and copy it, move it again. So they're checking them one at a time as they put them in the new server. And then once they're sure everything in the new server is running offline correctly, they'll switch access to it being on the new server. I don't know how it's going to line up geographically. Like my 1,000 by 1,000 plot is all coral reef and little tiny islands. And I don't know what happens at the edges of that. Does the water run over the land? Does the, I don't know. Yeah. I just don't know, but I know that it's happening right now, that they're moving chunks and making sure they're working correctly before they switch them on.
So stuff, let's say just timing wise, they copied Metaforce this morning and they're testing it today, then whatever we work on today would get lost.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think you probably have a plan for that. Like as long as they know that it got there and it's working, then they can probably update it from one machine to the other and bring in anything new. So, like Corey's been asked a few times about, do we need to pause building? And his answer is no, you're good to go. So that says to me that
then I'm happy.
I hope you're still happy when they're done.
Hey, as long as my super awesome like bachelor pad that Kush built me survived,
right?
The rest is just crazy.
Well, one of the things that happened with us was our chicken ka zone was surveyed wrong. It was off by about 8 blocks, and that meant that some of the rail plots were going to be like 42 by 50 instead of 50 by 50. And since those are for public sale, it's not like we could just go, we don't care. We had to make them right. So last night, Russ Nagin came in and moved this entire giant transport center 8 blocks to the north, and I didn't even want to watch. I didn't check it until I got up this morning to make sure everything was where I left it, but he put it back together absolutely brilliantly, perfectly. So hats off to Russ Nagin. Wait till you see the stuff that guy is building. He's building giant cows underground and weird secret lairs, and it's
I love seeing all the different stuff that people do because everything's so different. There's no, you know, it's not repetitive at all. And then, you know, sometimes you're like, oh man, I wish I thought of that. That's so cool.
Right. I can't wait to see what people do with the rail plots, because as long as you don't interfere with the running of the rail, you game on. As long as you leave space for people to walk through it unimpeded, you know, which is too high and too wide maybe, and you don't take up the rail, you could replace all the materials on that rail plot with glass bricks, sea lanterns, you know, glowing lava blocks. I don't know. Like, I can't wait to see what kind of crazy stuff. And you can build on these rail plots up to the sky limit, 255, and down to bedrock, 0. So you have about a 300 block range of crazy stuff you could do with a rail plot. And I just can't wait to see that. I think that's going to be, I thought about if I had a plot that was 4 long, I might make like a Chinese dragon that flows along the surface, you know, because it would be narrow and long.
Yeah, we'll see. It's we're gonna, you know, once the pack rips happen, which I guess is still a couple weeks out,
right?
Then it'll be like, then it's on. Then everybody's like, how do I get this and how do I move that? And
well, Donna hit for a 10
we'll be
pack
on all the new servers by the time the pack rips happen, right?
I think so, yeah. And Donna hit for a 10 pack of land today. So I think the horse trading to get near your friends is going to be.
I missed the 10. I tried for the 10. I missed it. And then I'm like, so then I'm like changing my plans. I'm like, wait, I got to go get some 3s. Do I want to? And then I got 3s and I was like, no, I wanted to get more 3s than that. And then the 3 sold out. And then I'm like,
Yeah, I only went for a 1. I went right away for a single. I got it right off the bat. But Donna, here's the punchline for me is that all these people with complicated computer rigs, I got everything set up on 3 computers. That Donna she got a 10 pack of rail last week and she got a 10 pack of land today. It's just her and her little laptop in the other room. It's like she's not driving a fancy rig to the dance. So
Awesome.
All right, Lisa, thank you again for letting us have a big block of time here to talk about the stuff we got going on. It's super exciting, and if even if you're not a Minecraft player, my strong desire is that you come in, you wander around, you spend enough time in here that you figure out this could be a lot of fun. It's a great family thing. You know, lots of people with kids in the 9 to 15 range playing with supervision, of course, are having a great time in here, and we're super excited about that. So that's it from
Thank you so much.
Chicken
Guy. Thanks, guys.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. I'm going to pop out. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks, Recourier. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely.
See you
Love it.
guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.